Hello everyone, it's Vivi and welcome back. As you're all probably aware by now, Bluepoint Games is now part of Sony. In other words, Sony acquired the studio and welcomed the development team with open arms. This announcement happened on September 30th. They even went on to make a video welcoming Bluepoint Games to PlayStation Studios, studios being a library of first-party teams at Sony. The talks about this acquisition actually happened after the launch of Demon's Souls on the PlayStation 5. This was their way to help the team focus on the game's release first. This was explained by Herman Hulse, head of PlayStation Studios. Bluepoint Games is known for remastering, to name a few examples, Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection on the PlayStation 4, Shadow of the Colossus remake on the PS4, and Demon's Souls on the PlayStation 5 of course. Which, fun fact, Sony confirmed that this remake sold over 1.4 million copies since its release. So pretty much the studio went from porting, remastering, to remaking games. Bluepoint Games president Marco Thrush, when interviewed by IGN, explained the following: "The transition from remasters to remakes was to test ourselves and push ourselves harder for the next step." Now before we discuss this next step of theirs, let's go over a couple more things. The team at Bluepoint over the years has been basically upgrading itself, not just in terms of projects, but employees. During the production of God of War Collection, the team was composed of about 15 people. They went to 70 employees with time, and at its peak, 95 for Demon's Souls, explained president at Bluepoint. Thrush also added the fact that the team is composed of people with an average of 15 years of experience. With that, he feels the team already has that original content, we'll get to that term soon, mindset in their hearts. And now with Sony's support, the team is ready to show the world what they're capable of, outside of what they've been known for years. Thrush explained they don't have to grow the team to a gigantic extent. Simply with Sony's help, they can fill in the gaps, he explained. Gaps in this case could imply collaborative teams from Sony. An example that comes to mind, XDev. So with Bluepoint now under PlayStation Studios, their next step is to move on to original content. Our next project, we're working on original content right now. We can't talk about what that is, but that's the next step in the evolution for us. To add on to this, during Bluepoint's welcoming video, Marco Thrush stated that they hope they have more to share in the months ahead. Whatever that may be, it gets anyone curious. Another well-known studio joining Sony, they're now working on original content. Heck, I'm curious myself. Now here's where we start scratching our heads. The words original content. Some folks seem to interchange the term original content with original IP. The thing is, if this were an original intellectual property, BP would have said so, don't you think? I'm saying Bluepoint a lot, so I'll be using BP for short. Since the word IP is quite common, they would have used the word IP instead. Original content just sounds like something that's completely out of the ordinary when it comes to wording. It's likely that this is BP's way of saying, hey, we're finally working on a project that's not a remaster, nor a remake or a HD port. In other words, it's possible BP is working on an existing IP, but that doesn't stop, rumors of another remaster surfacing, despite BP's statement. Alrighty, from where do I begin when looking at rumors? September 30th, on the same day of Sony's acquisition of BP, what folks call a game industry insider, she spoke up on Twitter and mentioned that BP is currently working on not only a game a la Miles Morales, implying game length-wise, but a remake of a beloved game. It's not Metal Gear Solid, looking at the replies. This might sound funny, right? Cause we know that BP said they're working on an original project. Well, content, technically. Now hold on, just who is Millier? Well, from the stuff I read, she apparently got the date of the latest PlayStation showcase 3 weeks prior, correctly. And she teased Marvel's Wolverine by Insomniac Games. Regardless, always take these rumors with, what is it we hear all the time? Ah yes, grain of, salt. There is one thing I want to squeeze in here. With the recent surge of rumors surrounding Sly Cooper's revival, some might naturally try and attach this rumor, especially the remake of a beloved game part, with the rumors of Sly Cooper coming back. As much as we'd like to believe that, BP remaking Sly Cooper possibly, chances of Sly under BP now seems pretty slim. I'll get to that very soon. While at it, Nick Baker, aka Special Nick's latest statement surrounding Sly, he explained that Sly is very early in development, and that announcement could happen sometime early next year. Who is this guy, you might ask? Well, let me simply redirect you to this video. In this video, I do go over what he's gotten right and wrong, and I do discuss the start of the Sly Cooper revival rumor thing. Now, the thing I said before, how chances of BP working on Sly is slim? Look, I'm not saying we should disregard Sly Cooper rumors, not at all. The rumor of Sly Cooper coming back still stands. It could simply be developed by another team, who will maybe find out sometime in the future if it happens, of course. Another contender, another IP worthy of being called beloved is Jak Daxter. The last time we heard about Jak's status by Naughty Dog was back in April. I hate to break it to them. We do not have Jak Daxter here in development right now. We still love the characters, and I see what you guys are doing with Ratchet and Clank, and that makes me wish that we did. And we would have one in development because there's still a lot of love for Jak Daxter in the studio. This was stated by Evan Wells, co-president at Naughty Dog. Heck, Jak Daxter's 20th anniversary happens this December. As much as the number 20 sounds special to us, I think we shouldn't get our hopes up too high. To word it differently, BP's beloved remake being Jak is also very slim. And here's why. On October 4th, ex-IGN guy Colin Moriarty on Twitter, who people believe is well connected to PlayStation, stated this: "I'm hearing through the grapevine, Bluepoint may be on a journey to Yharnam." Yharnam? That's a city in Bloodborne. You thought that was it? Nope. Nick Baker, the guy I mentioned shortly before, during one of his Xbox Era podcasts, episode 79 to be precise, at 1 hour and 30 minutes of the video, he's apparently heard a couple of things from his sources. He goes off memory of what he read in his DMs. He says he thinks that Bluepoint is not only working on a sequel to Bloodborne, adding onto Colin's statement we saw before, but a PC port which is already done, and a remaster of Bloodborne as well. So 3 things: a sequel, a remaster on PlayStation 5, and a PC port. As always, this is a rumor. Alright, there's been quite a lot of buzz surrounding the recent BP and Bloodborne rumor. So now, do you understand why Sly and Jak are less and less likely to fit the criteria? After all, Bloodborne I'd say would also fall within the beloved game category. As for the Miles Morales game length part by Millier, well, a rumor's a rumor. No one knows really. As for how BP will even be capable of handling so many projects at once, I mean, going back to the number of employees when Demon's Souls happened at its peak, 95 employees, we wonder. But don't forget that Marco Thrush himself said they don't have to turn their studio into something gigantic. They now have Sony who can hook them up with potential, say, collaborative teams. So, with that said, let's wrap up the video. If you have any questions or anything of such sort, feel free to share it in the comment section below. And as always, I've been Vivi, and thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.